Hey guys, how's it going? Andrew here, Enough Said Cards on Sunday night. Hope you're all doing well. It was 3 weeks ago tonight that I got back from the National, and yes, I'm finally getting around to doing my recap video. I had intended on doing this within a couple days of getting back, but went back to work, and then within a day or two, didn't really feel well. Ended up testing positive for COVID. Was actually pretty sick. I didn't get out of bed for like 5 days. I missed a week of work. Started to feel a little better. I actually still have a cough, but went back to work, got absolutely crushed at work, working days off, working overtime, just never got around to doing the video. And then this past week, took my family to the beach for a couple days before school starts for the kids tomorrow. So finally getting around to doing the video. I actually hadn't done any videos in quite a while. I've been buying cards, been watching a lot of your videos, just have been negligent in making my own. So I have a lot of catching up to do, showing you things I picked up over the summer. But tonight is just going to be my thoughts on the National. I'm going to show you throughout the video the cards I picked up. This may be a little disjointed because I'm not going to remember probably days that things actually happened like I usually do. But going to talk about the show. Going to talk about the cards I got and people I saw, and just the great week that I had in Chicago. Flew out Tuesday morning from Dulles Airport with my friend Tony, whose channel is Mid-Atlantic Cards. We had booked the Crown Plaza almost a year in advance, and our flights way in advance. We had made a bunch of reservations for dinners throughout the week. And I had printed out some VCP data for Tony for some cards that he was interested in looking for at the show. And I had mentioned some things that I was looking for also. Arrived, no problem, in Chicago. Bumped into Eric, those back pages at the airport. Took a shuttle to our hotel, checked in, had lunch, went over to the show. Got a little bit of time in on the show on Tuesday, which is like the setup day. And walked around. I'm not sure what day I picked up the first card that I'll show you in a moment. It may have been Tuesday. But, just speaking generally, I thought the show was fantastic. That probably everyone else is discussing their recap videos. The air conditioning was terrible. There were a couple days there where it was really hot. The signage in the show was terrible also. It was difficult to find booth numbers. There were rooms that had never been used before that a lot of people didn't even know were there. There was no place to sit down throughout the show. In my opinion, way too much of the corporate kind of crap set up, which was a large portion of the overall area of the show, which is not why I go to the National. But okay, those are the things that I didn't like. I'll get that out of the way. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. It was an amazing week. The cards were fantastic. The people were fantastic. I loved catching up with friends, and I could have, walked around for another day or two if my feet and legs had been able to hold up. There's just endless amount of stuff to see, I feel, and just had an absolute blast. The events at night, the YouTube get together on Thursday night was a highlight, as always. Actually brought this book, this price guide, to get Dr. James Beckett to sign it. And I had picked this up years ago. I don't remember where I got it at a show somewhere. And was able to show it to Dr. Beckett, and he confirmed that this actually is the first ever Beckett price guide. You can see there, #1, first printing, February 1979, and he signed it there. He said that this one came out early, I guess 1979. He said the brown one came out later in 1979, and that's this one. So that was pretty neat, I thought, having grown up with Beckett magazine, looking at the prices fluctuating every month. Some of the prices in these books are pretty entertaining to look at. So the YouTube event was awesome. Then the Friday night get together at the Lowe's, had some drinks, hung out with some friends, ended up Excuse me. Staying a lot later than I had planned, and went to walk back to the Crown Plaza, and it was like a monsoon outside it, and the 2 block walk back to my hotel would have gotten totally soaked. So Scotty Trish and I took a Uber back for 2 blocks, and so Scott, thanks for joining me on that trek there. Um, and then Saturday night, the trade night at the Hyatt was just completely like insane. How the hotel even really allowed that to happen is beyond me. But it was a lot of fun. There were just people set up everywhere. Probably every night of the show there were trade nights at the hotels, but that one in particular, I really just was amazing, and saw Eric there again. Um, Other highlights for me throughout the week were meeting up with friends, having dinner. Tony and I went to Gibson's one night and had a great meal with some friends there. And Jim Kelly was sitting next to us, so that was kind of cool. Went to Giordano's one night. Had dinner at Carmine's one night with Michael and Brian, and that was a great meal, great conversation. Had lunch one day with Ryan Nolan, Breakout Cards. We walked down to Maria's Tex-Mex restaurant, which is down the street, and that was a lot of fun. Ryan enjoyed walking around the show with you, and the lunch as well. One morning, I think maybe Saturday morning, had breakfast with Drew and Max and Scott. That was awesome as well. Really enjoyed the conversation, and found a little hole in the wall breakfast spot, which was fantastic. Um, so just overall a great week. And I'll get into the stuff that I picked up and kind of try to walk you through how these pickups happened. Um, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday morning. One of the tables that I kind of had highlighted that I wanted to head to first was a table. The dealer is Rhett. His YouTube channel is Stars of the Diamond, and I knew that he would have a lot of stuff that I liked, and pretty quickly saw this, which is a N332 Hess Cigarettes Thomas Edison card, PSA 1. This is the only PSA graded example of this card. I think there's a couple SGC examples also, but very scarce. So kind of knew when I saw it that I was going to want to try to buy it. Negotiated a little with Rhett, ended up walking away, but quickly coming back. Excuse me, sorry for the cough there, and picking this up. And I'm glad I did. It's just, really an impossible card. And I've gotten more into the non-sports historical figures, and Edison is one of the people I'm focusing on. And if I hadn't picked this up, finding another one would be basically impossible. So I was able to land that, and very pleased to get that. That was, I think, the first thing I bought. Spent a lot of time at Rhett's table throughout the week, but had picked up a bunch of stuff that he had, binders of stuff. A lot of this came from him, not all of it. These did for sure. These are 1901 T426 American Tobacco Celebrities. These are like British royal members, Duke of York, just various. Just thought these were kind of neat. Her Majesty Queen Alexandra. This one's kind of neat. This one is from the 1900 T430 American Tobacco World Scenes set, and obviously that's the Eiffel Tower. That says Paris Exhibition 1900. So picked those up. Then let's see. Thursday night. I don't know. I don't remember what we did Wednesday night. Wednesday may have been that was Gibson's. Thursday night, walked around the show again. Didn't buy much Thursday. I think I got some more of the non-sports stuff. I'm not going to go over all these. This is from the T58 fish set, brown trout. This was the last one I needed when I completed my set. So every time I see a brown trout now, I pick those up. These ones are kind of neat. These are N14 Allen and Ginter Government Buildings and State Capitals from 1889. and Massachusetts, which is where I grew up, and Virginia, where I live now. A couple of fish cards. These are from 1888 N74, striped bass, sheep's head, and redfish. Another one that I got, let's see, where is it? Jumping around here, guys. This one was kind of neat. I got this maybe the first day also. This is from 1922 Boys Cinema. And this is, of course, Harry Houdini. You can see the shackles and handcuffs and stuff on the front there. Bought this one. You don't see these a whole lot. Thought it was a kind of a cool image. This was actually in an SGC slab when I bought it. It was an SGC 1. And the way that it was in the slab kind of bothered me. It was like sort of didn't fit correctly in the slab. So I just cracked it out. Just as happy to have it like this. So that one was neat. Thursday YouTube event, had a blast, saw a whole bunch of people there. I'm not going to name names because I'll forget somebody, but for the first time met Chuck and had a nice conversation with him. Just really had a good time bouncing around, talking to everybody there. Chuck Northside guy, that is. After that, I went back to the room, and Tony ended up going to a trade night at the Lowe's. I was exhausted. I had a couple more drinks than I planned on having. Was going to go to bed. Laid down and got a text from Tony with a picture of a card on it that he had found at the trade night. And it was a picture of this card here. Just going to show it. And when we were discussing what we were looking for at the show, one of the things I mentioned was this card here, which is 1947 Bond Bred Jackie Robinson portrait. And this is a card I've been looking for a while. You don't see a ton of them. The population on these is quite a bit lower than the 49 Leaf or Bowman. Couldn't really afford a higher graded example, but this one actually was perfect. It's a PSA 1.5, as you can see, but really looks nice. The image is great. You don't notice a lot of damage on the front. There are some creases you can maybe see there. It's a little bit more noticeable on the back. But he sent me this picture. I said, he said some guy at the trade night has this. I said, stay there. I got dressed, ran over to the Lowe's, and was able to work out a deal for this card at a price that I was very pleased with. Just absolutely thrilled to have picked this up. So that was Thursday night. Let's see. Friday night, like I said, they get together at the Lowe's. I'll just go ahead and show you the rest of the stuff that I got. Some more random non-sports stuff. Look and See, Thomas Edison. I don't even know what this one is. This is from like a 1960s or 70s British tea set. That's Charles Darwin. I think I paid $1 for that. Lillian Russell, famous actress from the late 1800s, early 1900s. This one is from the, let's see, N245 set, actors and actresses. That one was kind of neat. At one point during the show, I was so exhausted from walking around in the heat and just, I had kind of had enough. And I sat down at a table and started going through a $2 box just so I could kind of rest a little bit. And I sat there for so long that I kind of decided I should buy something. And I picked these ones out, $2 each for these. They're all in pretty nice shape. 78 Morgan and Stargell. Second year Andre Dawson, 1980 Tom Seaver, and 74 Reggie Jackson, Willie Stargell. So got those. Picked up this along the way. This is 1923 W580 Frankie Gennaro. Here's another one I came across. And this is not something that I had on my list, not something that I was really looking for, but I saw this at a table and I thought it was a really good deal. Like the price was too good to pass up. And I was familiar with this card. This is a really popular old Judge card. It's Buck Ewing, of course, who's a Hall of Famer, with mascot. There's a couple different variations of this card. This was in a really old SGC slab when I bought it, but kind of right on the spot, picked it up. And this one is graded authentic because it's skinned and also trimmed, but the image is fantastic. Nice dark contrast. A lot of these are really washed out, kind of like how this is, like with a lighter image. You just don't see those with a dark image, but picked this up, then immediately went over to the SGC table and dropped it off to get reslabbed. I think it looks fantastic in the new slab. Totally roached back, but it doesn't even matter because those are blank backs anyway, and just really think that's a neat card. So got that. A couple more pickups to show you. This one here, I had seen this walking around. I really love the T205 set, and I think it may be my favorite pre-war baseball set. And I had seen this one. It's a really, really nice too. You can see it does have a little kind of wrinkle on the bottom there, but the image is fantastic. The color, the centering is pretty good, and the price was just kind of amazing. And went back, I think maybe Friday, picked this up. Just couldn't leave it there at the price that they were asking. And then Saturday, actually no, Sunday, was walking around, and a guy that I knew from previous shows, he hadn't been set up for the whole show, but he kind of just, I guess, picked a table that had been abandoned and kind of laid out his stuff and kind of set up there for the day. And I saw this card that he had, and this is a Hess Cigarettes N332 Buffalo Bill from the same set as the Edison. And if you look at these cards, you will notice that the cert number is one number off. These are from the same submission. Got these from different dealers, but these came from the same original collection, I guess. And saw this and thought it was a cool card. I had seen these before, but just kind of wasn't, it wasn't, again, something that was on my list. But when I saw it and realized that it was, from the same collection as the Edison, and it wasn't at a price that I was really pleased with, but he came down quite a bit, and again, got it at a price that I just kind of couldn't refuse. And this was my last pickup, so left with that. Got up, actually, I'll jump back a little bit. Got up Sunday morning. We knew we were going to go to the show and then head over to our flight, which was at 6 o'clock from O'Hare, and got a text message from United that our flight had been canceled and that they had booked us on another flight for Monday, and that was just not going to work. So spent the whole morning, unfortunately, on Sunday trying to rebook a flight. Was able to get a flight out of Midway on Southwest that flew back really late. We got back, I don't even know, 11 o'clock at night, but was just kind of tired and happy happy to have been able to get back at all. Midway, if you can avoid it, that's the first time I'd flown out of there. Stick to O'Hare, but that kind of wrapped up a fabulous week. Just really had a lot of fun, and the highlights again were catching up with friends and the meals and the get-togethers and walking the floor with my friends and just having a blast. And an added bonus was that I was able to pick up some cool cards. So that's it. Almost 20 minutes. 3 weeks late on my recap. I'll have some more videos coming. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff to catch up on and show you the things I picked up over the course of the summer. But those will be hopefully coming soon. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.